Let's go over how I improved my sleep. First of all, massive respect to you because you chose to click on this long form, unedited guide rather than all of the other clickbait BS on the internet. There's guys you know who are jacking off right now as we speak, whilst you're here gaining knowledge. Respected. First of all, just a quick introduction. My name's Krish. My current mission is to spread a good message to teenagers like myself by teaching what I just learned and implemented. I make these videos to share what worked for me so that hopefully you can gain some value from it, absorb what is useful, discard what isn't, add what is uniquely your own. All right? If you find this video to be useful to you, if you find it to be helpful, you can subscribe if you want. So here's my story with this. So I remember when I was a little child, every single time I would go to sleep, I wouldn't feel tired at all. You know what I mean? Like you remember those times when you used to go to bed and you felt like, damn, like I don't even feel that tired. Like I could still like stay awake for another couple hours. And then when you woke up, you felt tired as fuck. You remember that, right? That's how I used to feel every single day for years. Probably because I used to just stay up until like 2 a.m. playing games, right? Think about that, right? I would stay up until 2 a.m. playing video games. And I had school the next morning, so I'd wake up at like 7. In bed, I was technically should be getting 5 hours of sleep, which is still terrible, by the way. In reality, I was probably getting more like 3. And I remember this is like one of the first nights that I actually tracked my sleep. And it was okay. But you can see I was in bed for around like almost 9 hours. And I only got 7 hours of sleep. Actually, over 9 hours, almost 10 hours, and I only got 7 hours of sleep, which is like, it's not too bad. Like, that's a sleep efficiency of around 70%, right? But even then, at these times, I remember I was in India at the time. And even though I was technically getting good sleep, I still felt pretty terrible, I'm not gonna lie. I still felt like shit, probably because, like, air pollution and other BS, right? But after I finally, like, implemented all these things that I'm gonna talk about, this is what it is. I was in bed for around almost 8 hours and I got 7 hours of sleep. So you can see like the sleep efficiency like greatly improved. So nowadays, I'm in bed for around maybe 8.5 hours, maybe closer to 9. But even then, like my sleep is way, way better compared to the times when I used to have to like allocate like 11 hours for bed. Think about that, right? 11 hours of your day for sleep. Basically, just half your day, you're just in bed, right? But this is what it is now. So, my promise to you is to give you the steps and tools you need to actually getting high quality sleep based on what worked for me. I just want you to make the promise to yourself right now that you're just going to watch this full guide to the very end and take action on every actionable step. That's all I'm asking you to do. At least give this guide your full attention. At least give one video today your full attention for once. So this is what we're gonna go over. Why I stopped using sleep trackers. We're gonna go over working hard / purpose. We're gonna go over safe environment and peace of mind. Temperature, nose strips and mouth tape, earplugs, white noise, meditation, and consistent wake up and bedtime. Why I stopped using sleep trackers. So I remember I used to track my sleep with this app called Sleep Cycle for over 500 nights. Almost close to 600 nights I used to track my sleep every single day without fail. And it actually made my sleep worse too. Because I remember like this was already bad enough. Like I remember like, like checking the app and the app would say like, oh, you only get like 6.5 hours of sleep. And then, I already like, because I'm the type of guy to constantly overthink, be obsessed with, and feel bad about the data. So I remember like when this app would tell me like, oh, you only got 6.5 hours of sleep, I would feel terrible about it. And when I got the Whoop, like the Whoop app, like the Whoop tracker, like little band that you wear on your wrist, it was way worse. It was much worse because Not only does not only does the Whoop band tell you how much sleep you got, it tells you like basically like your health stats for the day. So I remember the days when I used to wake up, the Whoop tracker would say like, "Oh, you only got like 5.5 hours of sleep." I'm like, "What? What are you talking about?" Like I actually remember multiple nights or multiple mornings. Sorry, I would wake up and I'd feel fine. Like I would be in bed for around like like 8 hours or something like that. I'd wake up and I'd feel fine. Maybe I was a little bit sore and stuff, but once I stretched out, once like started like rolling out, like doing a little bit of stretching, I felt fine. But then once I checked the app, this freaking thing was like, "Oh yeah, actually, your HRV is like 17." I'm just like, "What? What are you talking about?" Like I feel fine. So it actually made my sleep worse. When I stopped tracking it, it actually finally improved. I'm not gonna lie, because once once you stop using these sleep trackers, like you sleep fine. Because tracking my sleep turned me into a bitch. I'm not gonna lie, because multiple times when I'd use like the little Whoop tracker, I was supposed to train that day. I was supposed to because I was supposed to train every single day. When I used that tracker, some days it would tell me like my recovery was like 19%. 19%, bro. And I would feel fine. Truth be told, like even like when I woke up and I didn't check it, I was like, I feel fine. Then I checked it and it was like, "Oh, your recovery is 19%, bro." It was like, "You can't train today." I was like, "What?" So I'd be sitting there like, what? Actually, yeah, like, I kind of feel tired. I kind of feel sore. Like, maybe I should take a day off. And so I would skip like multiple days of training, which is like, just why. Yeah, you can say like overtraining and stuff like, but like, dude, there's MMA fighters, there's Muay Thai fighters, there's like guys in the military who train for 4 hours a day, like every single day for years. You think they're overtrained? Probably not, right? Like they're fine. So it kind of like it kind of turned me into a bitch, at least maybe because you need to see what works for you. For me personally, when I tracked it, it made it much worse. Because again, I'm the type of guy to just like feel bad about the data. I'm the type of guy to just like, because beliefs is really powerful. You know what I mean? Because like you can have a shit night of sleep, for example. I remember I did this. A couple times a night, I had a shit night of sleep. Like I slept a little bit later because of like life and stuff. And I wake up, I feel a little bit tired, but I wouldn't just like feel sad about it and be like, "Oh no, I'm tired. I can't train today. I'm fine." I'd be just like, "No, no, 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 no. Come on, let's push through. Let's keep training today. Let's keep working today." That's at least what worked for me. You need to go and see what works for you. Maybe you're the type of guy that you can look at these things and it's fine. Like you can look at the sleep tracker and it's like, "Oh, okay." You can be that guy who like objectively looks at the data. That's not me. That never really worked for me. So you can see what works for you. All right. Let's go over working hard, right? The days that I've had the best sleep is when I've worked the hardest. Because I told you that story before of when I was a little child and I was just young and I would go to bed not tired at all. This is a pretty common experience, probably for you, maybe too, right? It's like by the end of the day, after you do school, you play your games, you do all this stuff, you go to bed, you're just not feeling like, you're not feeling tired. You go to bed feeling energized, right? You go to bed feeling like, damn, like I don't, like I just can't fall asleep. You know what I mean? It's like, but the days that I've had the best sleep is when I woke up early, when I worked hard, when I trained hard, when I did all the things that I knew I was supposed to do, when I did my homework, I did everything, right? And then I went to bed. Because when you train hard, when you work hard, like your brain's kind of fried, because you use your brain a lot, to like do work and like do homework and all this other stuff. You've worked hard in the gym. You've done everything you were supposed to do. Of course you're going to get good sleep. Something that, this is something that my brother used to tell me was you got to earn your sleep. You got to earn it. And the best way to earn it, from my experience, is just working hard on the things. It's just working on fulfilling work that means a lot to you. That's the actionable step, right? If you don't do this and you're not sleeping well, I'm not really that surprised. The reason why I bolded the word fulfilling is because you can you can do regular work, like you can do schoolwork and stuff, but if it's not fulfilling to you, if it doesn't actually mean anything, then it's like it's kind of useless. Because yeah, you can like work hard and do all these other things. I'm telling you right now, when you work on fulfilling work that means a lot to you, your sleep quality is going to be way, way better. Because like again, it's just peace of mind too. So I remember those days when I would go to bed and I'd be like, I wish I could have done better today. I wish I did this and this and this. I wish I didn't stay up so late. I wish I could have done this. I wish I said this. I wish I did this. It's like, you're not going to sleep well when you're just overthinking like that. When you get shit done during the day, right? It's like, it just gives you peace of mind to know, like, yeah, like I actually did shit today. Like I'm proud of myself. I worked hard today. I did all the work that I was supposed to do. Like good job. You should be saying those words to yourself because, again, you should just get shit done during the day, right? This was a really, really, really big one for me. I know this might sound weird. Working hard will just get you better sleep. And in turn, the better sleep will also allow you to work harder. This one's a really, really big one. Let's go over safe environment, right? An abusive household made it for me to get good sleep. So I was abused when I was a little kid, right? I was abused as a child for most of my childhood at least. And I don't know why, like every night, actually, I kind of do know why. Because I used to be just terrified of my father, right? Every night when I would go to bed, it would always feel like this. If you played Minecraft, when it's like, for some reason, you're an absolute retard. You just had to plop your bed down in like the middle of this open field, and there's a bunch of creepers and skeletons and spiders and zombies and stuff nearby. You try and sleep and it says, you may not rest now. There are monsters nearby. It would always feel like that. Every single time in my childhood when I want to go to bed, it would always feel like this. Like I'm gonna have to make probably a full video about this, but like PTSD and trauma, it actually like affects your sleep way more than you think. Because when I used to wear like the little Whoop tracker, the Whoop track, it would tell me that I would wake up around 40 times per night. I would consciously remember like maybe 4. That tracker, like, I would assume it's pretty accurate, right? It says I wake up around 40 times per night. And wouldn't be a common experience that when I was, a little child getting beat by my dad, I'd get constant nightmares. Every single night, just weird nightmares. And I would always have like, I don't know why, I would always have these dreams that they're kind of like Inception level dreams or something like that, where it was like, I'd be dreaming and then like, my family would be screaming at me, my dad would be screaming at me, my mom would be screaming at me. And then I would wake up, right? I would wake up in tears. I'd be crying and stuff. And like, like my dad came in. He said, like, what's going on? What's going on? And then he would start shouting at me. He would start getting angry at me. He would start hitting me and stuff. And then I would actually wake up. So it would kind of be like two wake ups. Like I'd be dreaming. The dream would be shit. I would be doing something wrong in the dream. I would wake up, right, for the first time, still dreaming. My father used to come in. He used to shout at me, used to hit me, whatever, right? Then I would like actually wake up. Yeah, that's fucked. Like, it has a bigger effect on your sleep than you realize. You're trying to slam the brakes on a car that's going 100 miles an hour, right? So this is the peace of mind and the safe, like part of the safe environment, right? It's like you don't want to go to bed still having like a bunch of random thoughts in your head, still having like just being too emotional, right? You know what I mean? It's like I remember those days when I would like because every single night for years, I don't know why I would do this. I would always just like use my phone right up until I went to bed. Like right up until it. Like I would be, I'd be downstairs. My mom would say, "Hey, you gotta go to bed. You got school tomorrow." I'm like, "Yeah, fine, whatever." Go to bed. Whilst walking up the stairs, still be on my phone, just like doing random BS. Go inside my room, turn off the lights, do all this stuff. Still be on my phone. Get into bed, still on my phone. Still just stimulating the brain, right? When you're trying to go to bed, like after, like when you're trying to like use your phone, you're trying to slam the brakes on the car that's going 100 miles an hour. So it's kind of like what worked for me was just not using my phone just right before bed. You know what I mean? It's like maybe if I want to like check one message or if I want to like read something, fine. But if I'm like using my phone just to like stimulate myself, it doesn't work. Like my sleep goes to shit that way. So just don't use your phone late at night. And if you are going to, for whatever reason, just use the red light filter. Right? So like what you can do is you can go into your settings, go to accessibility, display and text size. You go to color filters, and then you can like adjust all like the little like the color settings and whatnot, and just make it so it's a kind of like bright orange, like bright red. And what this does is basically like it'll just it won't fuck up your sleep, right? There's like a bunch of science behind this. But when you use your phone, it's like there's a bunch of like blue light and shit, and that just like fucks up your sleep, right? But when you turn on this red light, it's way better, from my experience at least. Let's go over temperature, right? So I will always sleep the best when I make the temperature, when I make the room the right temperature, right? So like there's people who say like, oh no, you need to make the room like super duper cold or something like that. It's like, I've tried doing that before, but it never worked. Like I remember like it would be quite often when I would like take that advice. I would make the room like 60 degrees, right? Even in like the winter, like 60 degrees, and I would wake up and I'd be like shivering. I'd be like, okay, what the fuck is going on here, right? Like, even then, like you don't want it to be too hot. So like it's getting to like it's basically just summer now, right? It's like it's June. You don't want it to be too hot because when it's really really hot, your sleep will go to shit. So I guess it's better to be really really cold and really really hot, right? But you want it to be like the right temperature. So I would not get any high quality sleep in the summer without this thing right here. So you can see like behind me, there's like the little tube thing. That's just the air conditioner that I use. And this thing is a game changer, dude. I swear to God. Because I don't know about you, But I don't have air conditioning in my house. I don't know what it is with like these brown families. Like they just refuse to get air conditioning for some reason. So I don't have air conditioning in my house, and during the summer it gets hot. It gets hot as hell, right? So this thing is a game changer. So what you like, it might look complicated to set up, but it's actually really not that hard. So what you do is like you get this little box thing, right? You plug it in, you press the power button, and that's it. It's on. So then what you do afterwards, you get this little pipe thing, and it comes with like a little attachment so you can attach it to the box, and this little like this thing so that you can stick it out your window. So you take that pipe, you stick it onto like this thing, then you stick this thing onto like that box. You attach the pipe to this little like window, whatever it's called, like this little like stick, right? And then you just stick it out your window just like this. It's that simple. And then from there, you can just like adjust the temperature so it's like the actual right temperature, right? That thing's a game changer, bro. I promise you. Like it might be a little bit expensive, but I've been saving up for it. I've saved up enough money for it from my shitty door-to-door sales job, bro. So I can actually afford one of these, and it's huge. Like trust me when I say it's huge. I think this is probably one of the biggest parts of getting good sleep is just the temperature of your room. If it's too hot or too cold, like actually no, if it's just too hot, it's like your sleep will just go to shit. So this is huge. So actionable step, just maybe you can save up for one of these. Maybe you can ask your parents to buy one of these. But this is really a game changer. Obviously, if you have air conditioning, then it's like obviously just adjust the temperature, right? But if you don't have one, then you can use this. This is a game changer, dude. Nose strips and mouth tape. So put a piece of micro pore tape on your lips every night before bed. So which will help guide your lips shut so that you'll breathe through your nose, right? We're supposed to breathe through our nose. If you've ever read, there's two books on this. There's The Oxygen Advantage, I don't know who it's by, I forgot, and Breath, The Science of a Lost Art. Both of these books talk about like how you're supposed to breathe through your nose, but we don't really do that anymore because like sickness and air pollution, all these other things. But you're supposed to breathe through your nose. And so what this tape will do, it'll help you just like guide your mouth shut. Like even like here, I'll show you. So you get this little roll, right? It's called micropore tape. Like you can just search up on Amazon. And this roll, like it lasts ages, by the way. Like you can see here, I bought this in like May 2023. It's June 2024 right now. Like I'm still using the same roll of tape, right? It lasts like forever, right? So what you do is you get the tape, and then I don't like sometimes it is kind of annoying because like it gets like stuck to the bottom there, so you just gotta like peel it off a little bit. So you get it just like this. You tear off a little piece, and then you just put it on your mouth just like this. And what this will do is like I don't know why, but it just guides your mouth to like your lips to shut so that you'll breathe through your nose, because like the smallest amount of resistance there will actually it'll just guide your body to just nasal breathe throughout the night, which is really healthy for you. And it also like it helps you get better sleep as well, which is why it's why it's in this guide, right? So and you might be saying like, okay, but I don't want to take my mouth shut. Like what if I get like suffocated and stuff? But it's fine. Like look, like this is how easy it comes off, just like that. So if you like really need to breathe through your mouth, you absolutely can. Like this is the tape that surgeons use. So like surgeons use this tape to like operate on like patients, right? So it's fine. If you ever like, it's not like a hard like duct tape, right? It's just like a little like a little thing to just help guide your body, right? And nose strips as well. So for me at least, sometimes my nose gets clogged whenever I go to bed. Like, like people these days, they have stuffy noses. And I used to too, right? I used to have like a really stuffy nose. An actual way I fixed this. It wasn't to breathe through my mouth. It was just to breathe again through my nose. Because like, it's kind of hard, it's kind of hard to explain, like, but how much you can breathe through your nose, it's how much like you should be able to breathe, like how much you need to breathe through your nose. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, like, I used to always make the excuse like, oh, I don't want to nasal breathe because like, my nose is clogged. No, like the way to cure that, the way to like basically get your nose unclogged is just to breathe again through your nose. Why is my mic being weird? It's just again to just breathe through your nose. And in the books they talked about this. It's like you should be able to like experience that air hunger, because that air hunger, like, it's actually really, really healthy for you. So your actionable step is just try these out for a week. Just see what happens. For me, these really, really helped, right? So nose strips, they come in like this little package, just like this. And what you do is like you take like there's a little like tape thing here, so you take that off, and then what you do is you just put it on like in between like your nose right here. So like there's like this, there's this like little like a ridge part of your nose. You just put it on there, boom. And what this does is like it opens up your airway, like it opens up basically just your airway so that you can breathe way better. You can also use this for workouts too. So it's like, usually when I work out, sometimes I'll just wear nose strips so that I can also get some nasal breathing in whilst I'm lifting, right? These really, really, really help me as well. Earplugs and white noise. What are they? Earplugs and white noise. So my house used to always creak and make weird noises, which would always wake me up in the middle of the night. Maybe you can relate to this. Like, I don't know about you. For me, at least, my house is like, it would always make like weird, like random creaking noises and stuff. And like, usually my family too, because, my mom might like close a door too hard or something like that. My brother would like wake up in the middle of the night for something. That would, most of the time, it would wake me up. So what I use for this is just white noise. So the white noise from the air conditioner that was mentioned before, or the white noise is from the air conditioner that was mentioned before, for me at least. If you don't want to buy one of those things, that's fine. Maybe you already do have air conditioning, or maybe like, you're just waiting to save enough money. You can just put on a fan as well. So the fan is actually like, the fan also helps too if like, like maybe you don't have enough money for the air conditioner or something like that, because the fan also provides you with a little bit of like cool air and white noise as well. So sometimes, I'll just like I have a little fan there that I use. I'll just put that on. I also stick in earplugs as well. So the reason why we use white noise is because it makes it harder to like hear all of the other random sounds. Because it just creates like a higher baseline of noise, you know what I mean? When you also stick in earplugs with that, it's like you kind of just get like this like zen feeling where it's like, yeah, it's great, for me at least. And I also travel with them as well, so you can just buy like a cheap pair of earplugs. These are the ones that I use. I just like, they come in like this little case, so I can just like reuse them over and over again. These really help me as well, earplugs and white noise. Meditation, right? So I don't know why. Every time I would meditate before bed, it would always knock me out. I'm not really sure why, like, but like every time I meditate, I kind of just always just want like, just go to bed, like go to sleep basically. For you, it might actually do the opposite. So for a lot of people, I know that meditation, like, it kind of like wakes them up more. For me at least, it just puts me right to sleep. So like I actually get like a really really good sleep if I meditate before bed. So when I'm in bed, sometimes what I'll do is like I'll just sit up against the little wall right there, and then I'll just sit there. I'll just meditate a little bit, and then automatically I'll just fall asleep, and I get perfect sleep that way. So you can experiment what works for you. So for you, you can experiment that and try that. It might not work, and that's fine. You can still use like the other tips that might work. For me, it works really really well when I just meditate before bed because it just knocks me out. But again, for you, it might not work. So just experiment, see what works for you. Consistent wake up and bedtime, all right? Having inconsistent sleep fucked up my sleep quality, right? So, most of us, like, we go to school 5 days a week, and so we generally have to wake up at the same time wake up and go to bed at the same time for 5 days. And then for 2 days out of the week, the weekend, what do? We stay up way, way later. And we also wake up way, way later, right? Humans are supposed to wake up and go to bed at relatively the same time every single day, right? Because I don't know about you, but every time I get inconsistent sleep, like even if, for example, like I might have been sleep deprived the whole week, and then like it's Friday night and I want to get good sleep, so I'm like in bed for like 10 hours, right? Even then, like let's say for example, I got to go to bed at 9 p.m. and wake up at 6 a.m. Generally for like school and stuff, right? If on Friday night I go to bed at like 12 a.m. and wake up at like not like 9 a.m., 10 a.m. And maybe I've been sleep deprived the whole week. Maybe my sleep the whole week has been shit for some reason. Even if I get like technically like a good amount of sleep, like 9 hours, 8 hours, right? But the actual like times when I go to bed to when I wake up, like they're skewed. For me at least, like I kind of just don't really feel that good. Like I don't feel healthy when I do that. And it makes sense, right? Because we're not supposed to like go to bed at the same time for 5 days and then for 2 days we just stay up way, way later, right? We're technically not supposed to do that, right? Some people actually aren't supposed to wake up super early. So like we're kind of forced to, and we're gonna kind of have to just deal with it because like we have school and stuff. But for like some people, going to bed at like 9 p.m. seems absurd to them. Like they would much rather, and they actually feel better going to bed at like 12 a.m., 1 a.m., and waking up at like 10 a.m., 11 a.m. They feel better doing that, and they actually perform better doing that because like if you think about it like evolutionarily, right? I know I'm just like yapping a bunch of things, but if you really like think about it, it's like some people, they were supposed to stay up and kind of just like guard everybody else in like the group, the tribe, whilst they were sleeping, right? And we would also kind of work in shifts too, because like if you think about it back then, it's like you're gonna get eaten by a tiger, right? You're gonna get eaten by something. And so, for some people, it was their job to just stay up way, way later, look out for everybody else. And then for some people, going to bed at like 1 a.m. seems like weird as hell. But going to bed at like 8 p.m., 7 p.m., that actually seems reasonable for them. And, waking up at like 5 a.m., 6 a.m., right? So you need to figure out like what times work for you. Like right now it's probably summer, so like, maybe school's ending for you. So you can actually like implement this as well. Figure out like what type of like, I guess like person you are when it comes to this. For me personally, it's like going to bed at like 2 a.m. seems like it seems wild. Like I would much rather just like go to bed at like 8 p.m., 9 p.m. That's the type of guy I am, at least. Like my brother's way, way different. He's the type of guy. He works best at when he wakes up at like noon. But he goes to bed at like 2 a.m. And he feels fine doing that. For a lot of people that might seem unhealthy, but it's like, no. It just depends on like, like what type of person you are when it comes to this. So just figure out what times work for you and just stick to it every single day. That's it. It's that simple. Just don't be inconsistent with it. So, covered everything I promised you. Hope this video was useful to you. And you should actually be really, really proud of yourself because like, you just watched me yap for 36 minutes. And you actually probably have a really good attention span. You can actually probably take action as well. So you should be really, really proud of yourself. Go take action on whatever you think will help you here. You got this.